Hello everyone, and welcome to today's broadcast. It is your favorite radio host, ichino-ani, here to guide you through the fascinating world of human and computer interaction. Today is April 2nd, 2026, and it is a beautiful Thursday to learn something new. Right, let us gather around and put on our thinking caps, just like we do in a classroom. Today I have a very exciting, slightly trending article from the archive to share with all of you. The title of the paper is Structured Intent as a Protocol-like Communication Layer, Cross-Model Robustness, Framework Comparison, and the Weak Model Compensation Effect. The URL is https://archive.org/abs/2604.12345. Wow, that title is quite a mouthful, is it not? But do not worry at all, my friends, because I am here to break it down to bite-sized, easy-to-understand pieces for you. Let us start with the big problem this paper is trying to solve. Have you ever tried asking an artificial intelligence a question, only to get a completely confusing or unhelpful answer? Well, you're definitely not alone in that experience. The paper calls this the reliability problem in human and AI communication. You see, when we talk to AI models right now, we usually just type a simple sentence, which is called an unstructured prompt. The problem is that the exact same intent expressed through normal, everyday language produces totally inconsistent outputs. It changes depending on the specific AI model you are using, the language you are speaking, or even just the time of day. Well, it is like asking a friend to bake a cake, but you forget to tell them what flavor, how big, or who it is for. The AI has to guess all those missing details, and sometimes it guesses completely wrong. So what is the clever solution that the researcher, Peng Gang, came up with? It is called the Prompt Protocol Specification, or PP, as for short. Instead of just throwing random sentences at the AI, this system uses a structured intent framework based on the journalistic 5Ws and trees. Let me explain what those are, because they are super useful for our daily lives. They stand for what, which is the task objective, why, which is the purpose or motivation behind the task, when in the target, when, which is the time context, where the environment or location, how to do, which outlines the steps or methods, how much for any quantitative requirements or limits, and finally, how feel, which sets the tone, style, and emotional quality of the response. By organizing our requests into these 8 clear categories, we stop just hoping the AI understands us, and we start communicating using a reliable protocol. Now, you might be wondering, how does this compare to other ways of talking to AI? The paper actually does a massive comparison with 2 other popular frameworks, called COSTR and RISCN. The researcher tested 3 frontier models, which are Claude GPT-4, and Gemini, across thousands of outputs, and what they found is absolutely fascinating. While 3 of these structured frameworks performed incredibly well, this means that simply breaking your request down into specific dimensions is the magic ingredient, regardless of which specific framework you use. However, the 5Ws and 3s framework is special because it covers more areas, like time and location, which the others leave out. There is another huge discovery in this paper, called the weak model compensation effect. Let us say you are using a slightly older or less capable AI model, like Gemini 2.5 Pro in this specific test, compared to a super strong one like Claude. Normally, the weaker model would struggle a lot to give you a good answer from a simple, messy prompt. But when you use the structured 5Ws and 3s prompt, the weaker model gets a massive boost in performance. In fact, the weakest model gained almost 5 times more improvement than the strongest model. It is exactly like giving a struggling student a very clear, step-by-step worksheet. When you make the instructions explicit, the weaker AI does not have to guess. So it performs almost as well as the top-tier, super expensive AI models. That is a huge win for making AI more accessible to everyone, no matter what software they can afford. Furthermore, the paper showed that using this structured method reduces language barriers significantly. When people used unstructured prompts, the AI's performance varied wildly depending on whether the prompt was in Chinese, English, or Japanese. Or with structured intent, that cross-language variance dropped by 24 times. The AI understood the goal almost perfectly, no matter which language the user was speaking. That is incredibly powerful for our globally connected world. Well, you might be thinking, filling out 8 different categories sounds like a lot of hard work. Do not worry. because the researchers thought of that too. They introduced an AI-assisted intent expansion tool. You just type your simple, one-sentence goal, and the background AI automatically fills out the rest of the 5 Ws and 3s for you. In their user study of 50 people, this automatic expansion reduced the back and forth chatting with the AI by a whopping 60%. Users were so much happier, because the AI got it right on the first or second try. But there is one little warning the paper gives us, which they call the encoding overhead. If you give an AI an extremely complicated 8-dimension prompt for a super difficult business task, especially in a second language like Japanese, it is just like giving a student too many instructions at once. Their brain gets full when they start making silly mistakes. So, the rule of thumb is to use only as many dimensions as you actually need for your specific task. You do not always have to use all 8. Now let us dive into 3 specific application examples of how this technology can change our everyday lives. I want you to imagine how you could use this in the real world. Example 1 is planning a community event or a school club activity. You're annoyed, you might tell the AI, write a plan for my campus club recruitment. The AI would give you a very generic, boring list of ideas that might not fit your school at all, but with the structured 5 Ws and 3s, your intent is automatically expanded. The what is the recruitment plan, but the who becomes college freshman, the when is the first week of September, the where is the outdoor campus quad, and the how much specifies a budget of $50. Because the AI has all this structured information, it instantly generates a highly specific, usable event schedule that fits your exact situation perfectly. It takes the heavy lifting right off your shoulders. Example 2 is creating a survey for an important community project, like emergency response planning. But usually in the study actually did this, without structure. Asking an AI to design a flood disaster response survey results in a messy, confusing list of questions. But using this protocol, the user explicitly defines the why, which is to understand resident preparedness. They define the how to do, meaning it must be a multiple-choice online form, and the how much, keeping it under 10 questions so people actually finish it. The real-world impact here is massive, because a well-structured survey gathers better data, which can literally help a town respond to emergencies faster and more safely. It turns an overwhelming task into a manageable one for local volunteers or government workers. Example 3 is something very personal, navigating tricky interpersonal communications. Let us say you need to write a sensitive message to comfort a friend who is going through a tough time, or maybe you need to resolve a conflict with a co-worker. If you just tell the AI, write an apology to my friend, the result might sound robotic, cold, or completely inappropriate. But by using the how feel dimension of the 5 Ws and 3 regions, you can specify that the tone must be gentle, empathetic, and not overly formal. You can use the why dimension to clarify that your goal is to rebuild trust, not to make excuses. The impact here is that AI can become a helpful coach for human empathy, helping us express our true feelings more clearly and avoiding misunderstandings in our most important relationships. Then to wrap things up, this paper teaches us something beautiful about communication. Whether we are talking to a computer or to each other, clarity is kindness. By structuring our thoughts and separating them into clear dimensions, we leave less room for confusion and more room for getting things done together. The fact that we can now use an AI protocol layer to translate a messy human thoughts into perfect instructions is just mind-blowing. It democratizes AI, making it helpful for everyone, regardless of their technical skills or the language they speak. I hope you all learned something wonderful today. Remember to always think about your who, what, where, when, why before you start your next big project. Thank you so much for tuning into today's broadcast. This is your teacher and host, ichino-ani, signing off for now. Have a fantastic Thursday, everyone, and I will see you next time.